Hi, this is Katie. Today's topic is transformation, and from 4 different types of transformation, we are going to look at translation today. Translations graphically mean sliding an object without rotating or changing itself, its shape. And there are 2 types. One is the horizontal translation, and the other one is vertical translation. Horizontal translation is moving object left or right. Vertical translation is moving up or down. Let's look at the horizontal translation first. I'm going to use the HT for short name for horizontal translation in this video. So this occurs, or horizontal translation occurs, when the x variable is changed by adding or subtracting a constant. So for example, we have y is equal to x squared, and if we apply the horizontal translation, the form is going to be changed to y is equal to x minus 3 squared. So here we start with the x squared. So I'm just gonna highlight the variable x, and we're gonna see what happens to that variable x. It is changed to x minus 3. So as you can see, the x is changed. The variable x is changed by subtracting the constant, which is 3 in this case. So let's look at how the graphs are changed when we apply the horizontal translation in this example. So if we draw the graph for y equals x squared, this would be the shape. And if we draw the graph for y equals x minus 3 squared, using the vertex of this quadratic function, vertex is going to be 3 and 0. So this will be our the vertex of the second function, and the shape will be the same, just the location of the vertex is changed. So what do we notice? When the x value is changed to x minus 3, horizontal translation is happening. So the graph is shifted. This case, 3 units to the right side. Now in the next example, let's see what happens when we're adding a constant instead of subtracting. This time we have x squared as the original function, y is equal to x squared, and now we have y is x plus 4 squared. So this time the 4 is added to x. Let's draw the graphs of these 2 functions and see what happened, how they're changing, how they're shifting. This is y is equal to x squared. And using the vertex form of this second function, so vertex, we know that it's negative 4 and 0. So here's our middle point. And the shape of the function stays the same. Okay, so we know that the second function, compared to the original function, the shape stays the same, but the graph is shifted to the left side by 4 units when x is added to a constant number. positive constant. So x is changed to x plus 4. The graph is shifted 4 units to the left. Okay, so next type of translation is a vertical translation. And I'm going to use the VT for short form. So vertical translation happens when the y variable is changed to another y variable by adding or subtracting a constant number. Remember, the horizontal translation was changed to the x variable, and vertical is for the change in the y variable. That's the difference. Let's look at the examples and how the graph is shifting vertically when we're adding or subtracting. Once again, we're starting from the original y is equal to x squared, and we're going to change that to y variable added to a constant, positive constant. So y plus 3 is equal to x squared. So when you have the this form of the equation, form of the function y plus 3, the first step that you need to do is we're going to isolate the y variable, which means we get rid of this plus 3 to the other side of the equation. So it will be y is x squared minus 3. So this equation is by isolating the y variable. And then we're gonna draw the graph. Here's the graph for y is equal to x squared. Using the vertex in the second form, the vertex is going to be 0 and negative 3. So we start from the 0 and negative 3, which is down here. And then we just need to use the same shape of the original function. Okay, so what happened to the graphs? If you compare the vertex, we notice that the vertex moves down 3 units vertically. So that's what happens when we add a positive constant to the variable y. Vertical translation, 3 units downwards. So that's down. So when you're adding a positive constant to the variable y, that constant many units, the graph will be shifted downwards. Let's try the last example. What happens to the graph when we are subtracting a positive constant in the next example? Once again, we're gonna isolate the y variable to easily recognize the vertex form, vertex of this quadratic function. And then let's draw or sketch the graph for these two. The vertex of this is 0 and positive 2. It starts from right over here, 0 and 2, and the shape stays the same. And that is for y is equal to x squared plus 2. So as you can see, the graph shifted upwards by this time 2 units, because 2 is subtracted from y. So that's that many units that we're shifting. So y is changed to y minus 2. The graph is shifted vertically, so vertical translation, 2 units, this time up. So let's summarize for translation for horizontal and vertical. For horizontal translation, it is the change with the x variable. When we start with the y equals f of x, it's the original, and it is applied to adding or subtracting a constant to the variable x. Like this, the x value, for example, when x is changed to x minus 3, horizontal translation happens 3 units to right side. When the positive constant is subtracted, the graph is shifting towards the right side. On the other hand, when x is added to a positive constant, horizontal translation, 3 units, this time left side. For vertical translation, it is for the change with the variable y. Y is f of x is changed to y plus minus, adding or subtracting, k constant. When we isolate the y variable, the plus minus will switch, so it will look like this, minus plus k. So y is changed to y minus 3, for example. The vertical translation, 3 units, the direction is upward. Y translated or transformed to y plus 3. Vertical translation, 3 units, down this time. So for horizontal and vertical translation, the rule or the idea is the same. Whenever you're subtracting with the positive constant, whether it's of x or y, subtracting will go either right side or up. And when you're adding a positive constant to the variable, it will be either left or down, depending on the variable you're looking at. Okay, let's try a few examples to identify what kind of translation is applied to the given function. So let's try practicing these 4 examples. Number 1, y is equal to square root of x is translated or transformed to y is equal to square root of x plus 3. So y is not changed, so only the x value is changed. So that means horizontal translation is happening because 3 is added to the variable x. So x is changed to x plus 3. So we know that is horizontal translation, 3 units. Positive is added, then we're going left side. Number 2, y is x squared transformed to y is equal to x minus 4 squared. Once again, only the y variable is changed to x minus 4. So it will be horizontal translation, x to x minus 4. Horizontal translation, 4 units, this time right side. Next one, we've got a cubic function, y is equal to x cubed. That is transformed to x cubed minus 5. So x, the variable, it stays the same. If we change that form into the original form, which means we're going back to the form that we begin with without isolating the y variable. So that means this goes to the left-hand side. Then we know that it will be y plus 5 is x cubed. So this changed to that. So y is changed to y plus 5. So it is vertical translation, 5 units. So it is added. So that means we're going down. Last one, well, this time is the absolute function. So y is equal to absolute function of x, changed to absolute function of x plus 1 plus 3. So this one is actually a combination of horizontal and vertical because x is changed to x plus 1 and there is the plus 3 on the right side. If we change that to the beginning function form before isolating the y value, y variable, then it will be y minus 3 is absolute function of x plus 1. So here x is changed to x plus 1 and y is changed to y minus 3. Horizontal translation 1 unit to left. Vertical translation 3 units. This is subtracted, so that means we're going up. Okay, so just make sure you understand which direction we're moving, left or right, up or down, when we're adding or subtracting a positive constant. Okay, so that is it for today for translation. So make sure you practice more questions to understand or master the rules for translation before you move on to the next transformation. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.